we're welcoming home Vinny Chase. I mean, people want to come.
I thought we agreed to keep it small, a family affair.
I never signed anything.
Hey, if you want to do it at the hotel, you know.
No, bro. This is your welcome home party. We can't do it at a hotel. Now that I have a beautiful home, I'd be honored to welcome you and your party. Just need to know how many people.
Would this podcast be considered a bash or a large get-together? Welcome back, everybody, to Oh Yeah, the Entourage podcast. I am your host, J.R. Hickey, coming to you from my studio in San Francisco. Hope most of you have a nice long 3-day weekend ahead of you. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hope the long weekend is treating you right. Maybe you watched the McGregor fight Saturday night. I was a good Warriors fan and was at Warriors Magic. Caught the fight. I don't know what to say. I'm a C-Mac fan. The guy is just, the sport is better when he's there. He would have made for a great Entourage cameo if the show was still happening. A couple housekeeping things. Got a new microphone setup here in SF. So the noise levels on this week's episode aren't exactly ironed out yet. So you might hear a little bit of shifting, shuffling in the background. I will iron that out ASAP. Don't you worry. Welcome to all the new listeners who are jumping on board the wagon in season 4 here. We're halfway through the run of the show. Tons of great episodes to go. This is an iconic season. Got some very fun and funny guests lined up to break down each episode every Monday morning. This week, I have comedian Wenzler Powers, stand-up comedian from Chicago, Illinois, a very funny writer, a hilarious Twitter follow. One of his tweets went like nuclear viral. And I'm not talking like your standard pedestrian viral. I'm talking like supernova nuclear viral. It's a very funny tweet. Check it out at his profile at Wenzler Powers. It's about Harry Potter and the Chicago Bulls. I'll leave it at that. Great discussion this week about episode 2 of season 4. The first cut is the deepest. This episode is chock full of people. We got Billy Walsh. We got Billy Walsh's girlfriend. We got Marvin. We got Andrew Preston. We've got Anthony Michael Hall. It's an iconic episode. Tons happen in this episode, which I really liked. Wenzler and I had a great time breaking it down. If you aren't, make sure you're following the social media accounts at Oh Yeah Pod on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you like the music that we talked about in each episode, follow that Spotify account. It is in the show notes for today's episode in your podcasting app. So let's dive into this very fun conversation with my very funny guest. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next Monday. All right, guys, we are back. My guest this week is a comedian and writer from Chicago whose work has appeared on The Onion, McSweeney's, Splitsider, and College Humor, the now defunct College Humor, R.I.P. He performs stand-up all over the Chicagoland area and is a hilarious follow on Twitter. Wenzler Powers, welcome to the Entourage podcast.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for that intro, too. Appreciate it.
All the comedians love that my intros I did because I like to gas them up, and listing their credits is important, I feel like.
Oh, totally. But also, like, comedians are like so hard up for praise that when you give it to them at all, it's just like water in the desert,
Yeah, I mean, I've done some comedy myself. I know what it's like. We're all sensitive types, It's important out in these internet streets to get as much credit as possible and as much money. The credit comes before the money, though.
Oh, definitely. We're all Billy Walshes, We're all just really desperate for that love and attention.
It's a great reference. This is a Billy Walsh heavy episode. This is a Billy Walsh heavy season of the show. Before we get to it, though, I love to ask my guests, especially the first-time guests, Wenzler, what was your relationship with Entourage like? When did you first start watching it? Did you watch it all the way through? Did you see the movie?
Yeah, so I haven't seen the movie, that's on me. But my first interaction was my older brother. He stayed in town for college. He got a house with a bunch of his friends. So when I would go over there and visit him on the weekends, Entourage was like their Sunday morning hangover show.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, I would just go over there and, I would always watch episodes just completely out of context. And so later on, when I ended up going to college, I went away for college, so I didn't really know anybody in the new town. So I was just like, well, what do people in college do? They watch Entourage. So, I bought
that's right.
I bought the DVDs, and I just made my way through. I finished the whole series, but then I kind of dropped out before the movie and everything started. But now that I'm doing this, I gotta hop back on it.
That's right. And you told me off air that you watched this episode and then you barrel through the rest of season 4.
So I started on the last episode, like the Apocalypse Now, like Office, like documentary episode. And then just to kind of get me back into it before I watched this one. And then afterwards I was like, I forgot how much fun this show was. So I just kind of made my way. I almost finished season 4. I'm pretty deep into it right now, but it brought back some good memories for sure.
I hooked the vein, I hooked the needle right back into the vein.
Yeah,
you're just addicted all over again.
Completely had a relapse, an Entourage relapse.
That's great, man. I mean, the show is a lot of fun. It's a social show. It's like the shared communal experience, and that's why we have the podcast. And I'm happy to have you on for this episode. I'm a big fan of your work on the Twitter, and I'm looking forward to hearing some of your takes.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me.
Of course. You want to dive in?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, cool. Episode 2 of Season 4, The First Cut is the Deepest. It aired on Sunday, June 24th, 2007. Just a few days later, the 2007 NBA Draft took place in Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York. Wenzler, do you remember who was drafted first and second overall in the 2007 NBA Draft?
Oh, man, 2007. Was that Derrick Rose's year?
Sadly, no. You're close, though.
No. You gotta hit me with it.
Freshman Greg Oden from Ohio State University was drafted first overall by the Portland Trail Blazers. However, he missed the entire season due to microfracture surgery on his right knee. And another freshman, Kevin Durant, was drafted second overall by the Seattle Supersonics.
Wow.
Kevin Durant became lead MVP, finals MVP, and a perennial all-star. Oden was beset by numerous microfracture surgeries on both knees that limited him to only a few games over the first few seasons of his career. Notably, he flamed out. Notably, Kevin Durant, one of the greatest players of all time.
Despite what you might think about him as a person, as a basketball player, he's just one of the greatest.
I happen to live in the Bay Area. I happen to be a Warriors season ticket holder, so I'm a Kevin Durant fan, but I understand why people think what they think about him. It makes sense.
Oh, it makes complete sense. But if you're actually in the Bay Area, you gotta love him, right? I mean, he just came in there and took that team, even though it was a championship-winning team, he took them to the next level. You can't deny it.
It was cool. I remember specifically, we're talking about something completely different here. I remember it because he announced it on the 4th of July that he was coming to the Warriors. So I was home in Chicago. I was doing a family barbecue, and me and my brothers were just going crazy. And I was just like, oh my God, what are the next 3 years going to bring me? And they brought me 2 championships, which I'm very happy about.
I remember that announcement happened, and I literally I was with a bunch of friends, partying at the time. And I woke up the next morning, and I woke up everyone by just yelling that Kevin Durant, which no one believed me at first. Everyone had to go to their phones and verify because it was just the most over-the-top signing that I could imagine.
I'm sure there was a lot more anger in that house than there was in my house.
Oh, well, we were all just basketball. We knew he wasn't going to the Memphis Grizzlies, so there was never really we missed that guy kind of feeling to it.
Yeah. Let's quick recap of this week's episode before we dive into the categories. These are getting and this, by the way, this was a dense episode. Let's just be honest. There was a lot of plot, so let me try to get through this as quickly as possible. So Vince and company returned to LA after an Italian vacation that wiped out the rest of their funds. Drama volunteers his new condo for his baby bro's welcome home party, which Turtle slowly escalates from an intimate gathering to an all-out rager. And while Drama scrambles to party-proof his pad, Vince and E meet with Ari to decide which job to take next. Ari delivers the bad news that no one will sign him before seeing Medellin in case the film bombs. Ari's problems extend beyond business. There's some sort of hitch that has threatened his son's admission into the Briar Country Day School. After charming, threatening, and bribing his way to an answer from the headmaster, Ari finds out his antics have driven the school over the edge and blackballed his son. Vince and E visit Walsh, who's wearing the only cut of the film around his neck, but the director tears off on a motorcycle to avoid showing them the film. After a day spent hunting for him, E calls from Vince's party and shames Walsh into screening the movie. After the viewing, Vince and E congratulate him on a job well done. On the way home, E asks Vince, "You didn't really like it, did you?" And Vince says he thought it was great. But E tells him, "I thought it sucked." Wenzler, what was your favorite moment from this episode?
Man, my favorite moment. For one, this is just such a good drama episode.
Oh yeah.
Just just like hit after hit. My favorite thing was probably right when you get to the party, like from the dog coming out and like you just realizing that there's a porta potty in the hallway to the stack of shoes to like realizing that somebody has broken into the bathroom. Like all of those things just like paying off the setup from earlier. My biggest laugh of the episode for sure.
He's like, feel free to use a coaster, pal. He's like yelling at people. There's nothing in the Sub-Zero, asshole.
And I ain't never listen, it's too bad. They know me got the orders, and I'm a known pro for the flow like no one. And I don't give a
Hey, don't be afraid to use coaster, pal. Hey, asshole! There's nothing in the Sub-Zero. There's no need to even open it. Fucking animals.
I used to be the guy that hosted parties in like high school and college, so like I felt drama in this episode, like in my soul, like just that walking around, just not having a good time, throwing a party.
That's funny. I liked to host parties too when I was in college. And yeah, there's a certain amount of control you want to have over your party, but at a certain age, parties can go like off the rails. And I mean, if you're a movie star, who knows what's going to happen?
I think those movie star parties, like I think that's why college guys love the show so much, because those are the only like reference for parties. Like that is the closest to a college party you're going to get. It's one of those LA throwdowns.
That's true. They all have got like the red Solo cups, and yeah, I got another theory or a question about the parties. I want to save it though. My favorite moment, we used to have a Marvin Award for like underappreciated character, and Marvin just coming back onto the scene for like a hot minute to just berate E and Vince. I love it. I laughed out loud.
Deep breath.
Hello.
It's your underappreciated money manager, Eric.
Ah, we appreciate you, Marvin.
Then how come you don't listen to a fucking word I say?
Will you stop yelling at me, Marvin?
$1,200 a night on a hotel suite. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Relax, Marvin. It's only temporary.
Temporary? Yeah, I'll say it's temporary. Till they throw you out on your ass. You guys have no money. Why do you think I told you to get back from Italy?
I know.
Hey, listen. This is not conservative Marvin talking. This is you are really and truly broke Marvin talking. Living on Vince's black card is insane.
I know.
So does Harry have a job?
Oh, we gotta wait till we see the movie.
Didn't you see it?
We're seeing it today.
There he is.
When?
Right now.
Well, call me when it's over. Hello?
Marvin pops up a few times this season, I think.
This season, yeah, but for the last season and a half or so, he's been kind of MIA. I don't know if it's because Paul Herman, who's played all sorts of roles in Scorsese movies and The Sopranos, maybe he was just like booked or something like that, but he's an incredible actor. He just was in The Irishman.
God, what a good movie.
On Netflix, he played a character called Whispers.
Yeah.
You guys are out on your ass. You are really and truly broke. This is not fucking around, Marvin talking to you. Like, these guys don't give a fuck. Why would they?
Oh, yeah. When they're talking about the hotel, and he's just like, they're going to throw you out. Like,
So, Wenzler, every week we do a favorite bros being bros moment. So, I don't know if you're familiar. So, this is more just like moments of male friendship. Maybe not moments of like being bros or broing out. What do you got for bros being bros this week?
yeah, for me, it's got to be the end of the episode when they're riding in the car.
So we're on the same page, right? You were just being nice to Billy.
What do you mean?
I mean, you didn't really like the movie, did you?
Thought it was amazing. You didn't?
I thought it sucked.
Really?
Really. Hey, what's up, Turtle? Great. No, that's fucking awesome.
What happened?
They had an after party at the hotel. Anthony Michael Hall pissed off the balcony and we got thrown out.
Nice.
So what do you want to do?
Oh, we'll crash at Johnny's tonight. So you really didn't like it?
I really didn't.
Huh.
The fact that they weren't angry about it, the fact that it was just like they took each other's opinion and just respected it and just kind of, like, I know it plays out later in the season that it becomes a little bit more dramatic, but that moment where it's just like they disagree and it's something they're both passionate about, but they're on opposite ends of the spectrum, but they respect it. I don't know. I thought that was probably like I know usually it's like them busting their balls, but I thought that was a good representation of that friendship.
Well, because E and Vince, even when they disagree, it never comes to like a head. It comes to a head like 2 or 3 times over the course of the entire series. But like you're right, they're pretty level-headed with each other. They just kind of size each other up, state their opinion, and then just like E probably tries to figure out how to solve it. Vince doesn't solve anything.
Oh, of course not. That's what he's there for.
But that's a good point. It does kind of show the like rock solidness of that friendship, because I have plenty of disagreements with my male friends, and they never get emotional or heated or even like violent. They just are disagreements. That's it. Okay, so my favorite Bros Being Bros moment for this week was a drama and Turtle at Costco. I don't know what it is. I just like seeing the guys doing really normal ass things. The show is all about, like them getting sports cars and them being at these exclusive nightclubs and restaurants and, celebrity cameras. When you just see them doing things that like guys do, I mean, I've been in that situation. Me and a buddy like shopping for a party and like arguing about like quantities and always overbuying. Like that's such a staple of a male friendship in my mind.
Not only that, but the drama not wanting to buy any food for anyone other than Vince. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever had one of those parties where it's just like you just get a bag of chips for everyone. Because I'd be that guy in college. I'd be like, I get 2 bags of chips, and I'd be like, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 barbecue wings for Vince. Baby bro likes them from Costco. Carrots and celery for everyone else. Like, there are plenty of things you can serve that aren't messy. Like, drama's just like so unimaginative in that.
Just tell me there's not going to be more than 75 people.
There's not going to be more than 75 people.
Really?
No, not really, but that's what you told me to tell you.
Dick.
Why do you need baby wipes?
Just get what's on the list.
50 cartons?
Please don't question me, all right?
All right, fine. It says 12 barbecue chicken wings. I mean, you mean 1,200?
No, I meant when I wrote 12. They're for Vince. He loves the wings at Costco, but I'm not letting everyone else go wild with barbecue chicken wings.
So what's everyone else going to eat then?
Celery. Read the list.
Celery?
Yeah, and carrots. Look, the party's called for 9 p.m. That's not a dinner party, so only Vince is going to eat real food. Everyone else is going to have nice, clean, stain-free celery and carrots.
Great.
Think you guys have enough baby wipes?
Oh, no. It's not what it looks like. They're for a party. You want to come?
It kind of blew my mind to see Costco. I don't know, how long has Costco been around?
I feel like I went to Costco a lot when I was a kid, so it's got to have been around for a while. But yeah, no,
okay.
It was one of those. There are a few moments in this episode where I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
We were a Sam's Club family, and I know Sam's Club's been around for a while, so yeah, maybe it's just because I now live on the West Coast, and I'm like, oh, that's Costco. Okay, interesting. So what was your least favorite moment from this week's episode, Wenzler?
My least favorite moment. Well, I think for me, I didn't love the Ari plot in this one.
Yeah.
It felt just kind of there, like just kind of a buffer to kind of fill out the time of the episode. I felt like, you kind of missed out on a lot of good Ari stuff because I like him interacting with the guys more than when he's kind of on his own misadventure. So I'm just going to have to go with that one for me.
The beginning of it especially, and here's why. So that was part of my least favorite moment as well. He like picks up the phone and he's like, baby, what's wrong? And his wife is just screaming at him.
Calm down, baby.
Do not tell me to calm down, Ari. They're giving my son a hard time, my baby boy.
She's hysterical as she's in the like Prada store shopping for handbags. And she's like, don't tell me to calm down, Ari. It's just like, Jesus. And I, peel back the curtain a little bit. I know that like, female characters are, underwritten on the show, for lack of a better word. But
you think?
But it just, immediately making her like hysterical, and Ari having to go do like the man's job, as he describes it, to like,
This is man's work.
Man's work?
I'm going to have to apply a little bit of pressure. Trust me, you do not want to see this, all right? Don't worry, I'm going to handle it. Trust me.
Right here, where we at? Right there.
I'm like, I would have kind of liked to see them like tag team that shit.
Yeah, exactly. I think those are kind of like the best moments with Ari and his wife are like when they kind of get on the same page.
She's kind of like shoved to the sidelines, and I don't know. I just don't think that. I think that whole plot is a little clumsy, and it extends through next episode too,
right?
Which is interesting. They're trying to make Ari have an emotional side. They're trying to show his life at home more often because you can't always have him with Vince and the guys. And for some reason, it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, I think they've done it better. This just isn't their best. This isn't their best use of Ari for sure, and definitely not the best use of his wife throughout the
definitely
throughout the series.
His wife is utilized His wife's always utilized in interesting ways.
Oh, for sure. And sometimes, like, she has, like, probably my favorite burn when he's just saying, when she hits him with the begging won't be enough.
Legacies are as sure a thing as me having to beg for blowjobs. Little Jonah will be a proud member of the Briar Country Day School, just like his sister. Fear not.
Begging won't be enough if he isn't, Ari.
I gotta go, baby. I'll see you at the school.
Yeah.
That was my favorite burn of the week. I know I'm jumping ahead right now, but I thought that, like, that got a good laugh from me, and I wanted more of that from this plot, for sure.
Yeah, 100%, completely agree. And then, I mean, I have to say it, we don't really talk about what hasn't aged very well anymore, but like drama and Turtle being uncomfortable with Lloyd bringing his gay friends, it's like, come on. Like,
What up, Lloyd?
Nothing, not much. So I spent all evening preparing a little something for the big bash. Creme brulee.
It's not a bash, Lloyd. It's a large get-together.
Whatever it is, Drama. Is it okay if I bring 4 friends?
What sort of friends?
It's fine, Lloyd. Just no public displays of affection, all right?
who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest, if I was throwing a party and there was like 100 girls coming, a couple day dyes in the midst wouldn't hurt anybody, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. If this episode were to, especially those LA, those LA Hollywood guys would have no issue at all. They'd be like, oh yeah, come on, we're having a party. Like they wouldn't.
Yeah.
But that's something that doesn't age well. But what can you do? The show came out mid 2000s, so
2007,
yeah,
man,
exactly.
13 years ago.
Jesus, that is.
Yeah, if it happened today, it'd be like, well, how many Instagram followers do they have? It'd be like something like that, like be more of a status thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Wen, what was your favorite line or quote from this week's episode? A lot of good ones.
So mine is a really small moment. It's when Ari and Vince go into the other room, and he immediately just goes, first things first. Do I look puffy? Just completely pierced through him in that moment. He tried to play it off like, oh, if you have 6% body fat when you're 40 years old, I'll pay you $100,000. And then immediately, like, it slips, and he's like, do I look like? I love those Ari moments the most.
Oh, dude, it's perfect. He's so insecure. He's got such an alpha streak to him. But like at the end of the day, man, like we all want to look good and feel good. So someone calls you fat, like, ooh, that's tough.
That is that's the hardest thing to hear, and nobody would take it well. So I'm glad that like they had that mass slip. Ari just immediately goes to that insecure place. It's just such a great thing. It's a real thing, but also for Ari, it makes you like the character that much more when he's not on top the entire time.
And it's so subtle. The like audio barely picks it up, but it's perfect. I wonder if Piven improv that feels like something he would have improv, to be honest with you.
Oh, definitely.
Stephanie Chase? Hey. Oh my God! Look at that. I don't believe. Usually I have to get us weekly to get a look at those pretty eyes, and then I have to look at the wee bottom lower corner of the frame to see the top of this little man's head.
You look a little pudgy, are you? Put on a little weight?
Oh, you wish. 6% body fat. Achieve that when you're 40, and I'll give you $100,000. When'd you get in?
Late last night.
You coming to the welcome home party?
We understand if you can't make it.
I will be there. First things first. I look happy.
Oh, you look good.
Yeah, baby.
What?
Oh, this broad I met on MySpace, she's coming with a sorority.
I got 2 Billy Walsh ones. Billy Walsh's hot streak is about to come to an end, in my opinion. I really enjoyed last week him melting down while they're in Colombia. I liked seeing him struggling in this week's episode, but now when he becomes like a problem over the next, whatever it is, 10 episodes, that's when he starts to wear on me. So this is probably the last I'm loving of Billy, but when he's stalling, when the boys are like asking to see the cut.
So can we get this thing going or what?
You want to eat first? You want something?
I'm okay.
We got empanadas.
No, I'm all good.
You want an empanada soup?
We just ate, Billy.
How about a tamale?
We're all good.
What about one of those blowjobs? You want one of those?
No.
Come on, what does Turtle check your balls for lipstick when you get home or something?
Quit stalling, Billy.
I'm not fucking stalling.
Billy, we really want to see it. Come on.
And I want you to see it, Vin. Well, I do. It's just not ready. It's not ready. I need a little bit more time.
What are you talking about?
How much more time?
3 weeks a month, tops.
You can't have it.
Who says?
I say.
Who the fuck are you?
The guy with the fucking checkbook.
Billy, we just flew in from Italy. You said you'd be ready.
Thought I was ready, man. I thought I was, but I watched this morning, and I'm not.
Billy, listen. I understand you're nervous, but we've both seen first cuts. We know what we're looking at.
I can't, Vin. It's just not ready. You only get one chance for a first impression.
All right, look, here's the deal, Billy, okay? We see this film today or not another dollar comes into this facility. Not for cigarettes, not for coffee, not for sea bass, and not for fucking blowjobs. You understand what I'm saying?
It's like he's like, what is it, an auctioneer or something. He's talking real fast and being real, like, flashy. Hysterical.
Oh, I love it.
And Kevin Conley's just like, nope, I'm good. I ate. Nope, let's just see the cut.
Just show me the movie. Just show me the movie. Just not letting him have it.
And then later, when, he bails on them, obviously he's on the run. Later, when they actually do meet up with him, he just, like, is standing there. He's, like, humiliated. He's like, no words necessary. Enjoy. I'll be out back throwing up in the alley. That's great, man. That's like a creative who cares. Someone who will, like, get ill over their own work.
Not only that, but cutting to him doing karate by himself to, like, get rid of the anxiety. Like, who hasn't been in that moment of just, like, trying to kill time and just running laps?
Calisthenics. Yeah, he's doing, like, push-ups and jumping jets. Great. So you mentioned your best burn was
when Ari's wife, because earlier he's just like, the only thing more certain than me having to beg for blowjobs is that our kid's getting into this school. And then they had the whole conversation, and he's like, I got this handled. She goes, well, if you don't, begging won't be enough. And I was just like, what a good hit, and just a flip from, like, because it's Ari. He's going to say sexist things specifically to his wife, which But for her to flip the script on him like that, even though she was very, shrill earlier, I thought that was just a great jab. I loved it.
Definitely. She, like, kind of regains her confidence after Ari kind of tries to put her in his place, and she's like, no.
Oh, exactly.
Not today, mister. Yeah, and then my best burn was Ito, and you look a little pudgy, Ari. Did you gain weight? Like, I love that.
I'm glad we both appreciated that moment, because that is such a great little thing that, wouldn't make a lot of people's top moments of an episode, but it's because it's so fast. But God, it was good.
Well, I mean, it's because of Ari's burn to E beforehand, which is pretty good, but also very, like, in character. He's like, usually I have to look at us sweetly to see those pretty blue eyes. Then I have to look in the wee bottom corner to see the top of this little man's head. Like, I feel like E is, like, immune to short jokes at this point, and they just, like, throw it to him, like, every other episode they're making fun of his height. So I don't know, man. Like, it was just a great, like, take your punch and then deliver a counter.
Not only that, but Ari's had such a huge wind-up, and E just cut through to, you're looking fat.
Yep. So every week when we have a category where we talked about the music in this week's episode, the music for the last couple episodes has not been good. I think this episode has one of the best soundtracks of early Entourage. What do you think about some of the songs? Did any of them jump out at you?
Honestly, none of the songs really jumped out to me. Like, the end credit song, like, it was good to have in the background, but I wasn't dying to just, like, Shazam whatever it was. So for me, the soundtrack didn't jump out this episode.
Fair enough. We can disagree cordially on the Entourage podcast.
Fair enough.
For those listening, most of you guys know we have a Spotify playlist of all of our favorite songs. The link to listen to that is in the show notes of today's episode. Couple songs. When Ari and his wife are standing outside their Range Rover, and he's like, this is man's work, I have to apply a little bit of pressure. The song Feels Good by Northern Lead starts playing. It's a hip-hop song. It's really good, and I especially liked it because it's over Ari, like, trying to slap his wife's ass, which this is a bit of an overshare, but, like, I'm a married man, and, like, you're always trying to sneak in those little, like, moments of, like, you kind of sexually harass each other at all times. It makes it kind of fun in a way. Like, it's my wife. I'm not.
No. I'm married too. I completely know what you're talking about. Just to feel like we're getting away with something moments.
Yeah, even though you're not, because it's your wife, and, like, so something about that. So I liked that. During the party scene when we mentioned earlier, when Drama's going around yelling at everybody to, stay out of the Sub-Zero, a song Ice Cream by Wale is playing. I'm a huge Wale fan. Wale's music was huge in the early 2000s, and I had a lot of his albums, so that stuck out at me. And then the outro music, Lady Don't Techno by Latrix. This song was on a lot of early playlists of mine because of this episode, and if you guys haven't heard any of them, go back and listen to them. They're in that Spotify playlist. Can't play them on the episode, obviously, because I'll get in a lot of trouble. We like to do, like, a celebrity cameo, and there are two celebrities in this episode, one playing himself and one playing a character. So who of these two celebrity cameos, in your opinion, was the better and who was the worse?
Okay, I got to go with Anthony Michael Hall pissing off the balcony as my favorite.
He's awesome.
just because it's such, like, a great finish to the whole thing with Drama.
Hey, Lloyd, nice sweater, baby. What's up, Joe?
How are you, pal?
Good, man. How do you hold it?
Hysterical.
Anthony Michael Hall has done a really good job of like reinventing himself as an actor. He obviously starred in several teen-oriented films of the 80s, a lot of John Hughes movies, National Lampoon's Vacation, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, and Weird Science. But he kind of like got out of that deep persona, and he was in the Saturday Night Live cast in the 80s, and then he's since like still worked. He was in the film Johnny Be Good, Edward Scissorhands, 6 Degrees of Separation. Still working to this day. I kind of like to see a child actor do that. That's really commendable, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's going to be in the new Halloween movie, I think, actually.
That's awesome.
So I love those movies, and I love that they're using other like 80s, I know Halloween was 70s, but I like that they're using like 80s stars to bring them back in these new ones.
Definitely, 100%. And now let's talk about Dan Castellaneta. He plays Andrew Preston, the school superintendent.
Baby, don't worry. I will save the day as usual.
Excuse me, sir. Cell phones are not permitted on school grounds.
Let me call you back. Andrew Preston.
Ari Gold.
Just the man I was looking for. Sorry about the phone. Business call. It is a Wednesday after all.
Well, what can I do for you, Mr. Gold?
Well, Dan Castellaneta is not only one of the most successful voice actors of all time, but he's a Chicago guy, and that's why I like him.
Oh no, I love him. Second City and everything, and he's Homer. He was the genie when Robin Williams wasn't doing it.
That's right.
He's iconic. I just, it doesn't feel like a role that you have to bring in Dan to play.
Exactly. This is a role that Dan almost asked for in a way. Like, hey, I'm trying to play more serious. I just want to flex my acting chops a little bit. I doubt he auditioned for this. There's no way a guy who's made 30 years of The Simpsons is going out and doing an audition for Entourage. I wonder if it's someone did a favor for him or he was a fan of the show. I don't know, but yeah, Dan Castellaneta, Grandpa Simpson, Homer Simpson, Barney Gumble, Krusty the Clown, Sideshow Mel, Groundskeeper Willie, Mayor Quimby. He was raised in River Forest and Oak Park. He attended Oak Park River Forest High School and started attending Northern Illinois University, the Huskies, in the fall of 1975. Very cool. I love seeing a Chicago guy out there in Hollywood, absolutely killing it. But yeah, maybe not one of the better celebrity role cameos in the whole of Entourage.
Oh yeah, definitely better things to use him for than just the guy who kind of just lays out, "No one likes you, Ari."
Yeah, which you kind of saw coming in a weird way, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
From the first meeting with the teacher, you kind of knew exactly what the problem was.
Yeah. This is kind of my favorite part of every episode of Oh Yeah, Oh Yeah. We talked about just the outdatedness of the episode and then maybe how it would be different if it aired today. What do you think, Wenz? Anything jump out at you as being particularly outdated? There were a lot of things that Turtle said that were outdated.
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, for one, telling Lloyd, not to do any public displays of affection, that was a big one. For sure. But also Turtle saying that he met a girl off MySpace.
Oh, yeah.
And that he's texting on his sidekick.
He's I gotta check the Evite list. What?
Yeah, the Evite list. That and also Ari bragging about getting Lindsay Lohan into this guy's child's school.
Yep.
I think now you get in huge trouble if you did that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think she'd bring some cocaine or something.
I'm the guy that got Lindsay Lohan to scream Mean Girls at the school when you begged. I'm the guy that got little Bow Wow at your daughter's bat mitzvah.
Ari.
I'm the guy that knows you got a little skank you keep on the Wilshire corridor. Stays here. What are you not telling me?
Name drops from decades ago that really don't stand up.
Yeah, at this point, how you would think how impressive is Ari if he dropped these names to you right now.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, cool, man, you're kind of lame, actually.
Hey, we managed to get Lindsay Lohan. Oh, cool, you found $30? You raised those funds?
Yeah, if you're lucky, I can get Blue Man Group to perform at this party.
Hey, look, I've seen Blue Man Group. Those guys are actually very impressive.
It's quite the performance.
Oh, it's an experience, really.
Yeah. What would be different about this episode if it aired in 2020?
Well, just the MySpace line made me just go, man, what would this show look like in the age of Tinder?
Yeah.
Like, that would be, for one, all of Turtle's profile pictures would just be him and Vince. Just every single one of them. Just a hanger on. Every character except for E, who wouldn't be on the apps.
E might be. He's taking a break from Sloan this episode, apparently, but
I could see E just being a guy like, oh, why can't you just meet someone in real life kind of guy?
Sure, that's true. I could see that too. In reality, the show would just be these guys flying in stanky Instagram girls from all over the world.
Oh, 1,000. The majority of this show would just be them all sitting around at Vince's place just swiping.
Yep. And these guys would all have, like, Turtle would have 1 million followers because of his association with Vince.
Oh, he'd be an Instagram guy. He'd be constantly live streaming everything that they did together. And he would have his own, like, he'd be like doing, workout, Instagram ads and stuff,
Supplements.
even though he looks like him.
He'd be like one of those, like, Kardashian hanger-ons, like one of those people who just, like, gets in their orbit and becomes mega famous because they've hung out with them a few times.
Yes, 1,000. That would definitely be Turtle. And now I want to see that show.
So do I, man. Like, there are a lot of versions of Entourage now that would make for really compelling television, in my opinion.
I completely agree with that.
The other thing that would just be different is there's just this, and this is what really bothered me about this season in general, is that nobody will give Vince a job because they're, like, waiting to see what happens with Medellin, and it's like, what are you talking about? He's a movie star. There are movies that need to be made. Movie studios have money. Why? Like, that wouldn't happen ever. I don't even think in 2007 that was a thing.
No. Oh, no. The guy was Aquaman. I mean,
yeah.
He got replaced for the sequel, but he was still Aquaman. Like, he would at least have Tobey Maguire's, career trajectory.
Yeah. Tobey Maguire got, almost replaced off of Spider-Man, but he still did, like, The Great Gatsby and, like, all these great character pieces after that. Like, he's not suddenly completely irrelevant, which I always find it funny when they're like, Vinny Chase, he's at rock bottom right now. What are you talking about? He's been in, like, all these huge movies.
He's been in all these huge movies. I mean, he got all this awards claim, and you're just telling me that this one bad movie does not tank anyone's career. But also, I think it's different now because, like, we don't really even have movie stars at this point. You
Truly.
know? Like, there's probably The Rock and Tom Cruise can sell a movie just on their name.
Yep.
But, like, at this point, you're just looking for people that put in good work, and he's proven to put in good work. Like, that's a major plot point in the first two seasons.
He was in the highest grossing movie of all time. That should, relay to studios that the guy can make money off of his likeness. It's insane. That's always kind of bothered me about the, like, whole Vinny Chase arc.
Right now, no one is going to offer you something you want or give you the kind of money that we want. You can understand that, right?
Actually, I can't.
The word on the street since day one of production on Medellin has not been good. DPs and actors fired, production delays, unstable director. No one wants to put Vince's face on a poster with the possibility of a looming disaster hanging out there. It's the Geely effect.
Wow. Okay, so what do we need, Ari?
We need for Medellin to be good, E.
Now I will go against myself in one aspect, though, because it is a James Cameron movie as Aquaman, and another James Cameron movie. When was the last time you saw Sam Worthington in anything after a few bombs? So maybe there is a point to it, because no one's really clamoring for Sam. I think he did this, and then after the bomb of, like, the Clash of the Titans movies.
Yep.
I think he's gonna be back in the new Avatars, though. So hopefully there's a rebound there, because I like him.
Imagine being him and just being on ice for 10 fucking years waiting for the next movie to come out.
I'm sure he's done different things, but man, those Avatar movies, I'll probably see the first one, but there's like 5 of those things.
I know.
Coming out.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting. James Cameron is an interesting dude. We've talked about him a lot on this podcast back in.
Oh, you got to.
I have kind of a question. This doesn't really fall into any categories, but you clearly you're an Entourage fan. You've seen the whole show multiple times. Why every time there's, like, a party for Vince, whether it's a release party, a birthday party, or the welcome home party in this week's example, he's always just standing off somewhere and he's talking with E and Ari. I never understand it. There are 100 people in Drama's apartment, all there for Vince, and Vince and E are just standing there talking about the movie. Like, in real life, he'd be fucking swarmed by people. Like, I want to see Vince have bodyguards around him or something. I never can understand it, and it's always so funny to me.
Okay, I thought you were going to go the route of why isn't Vince in the middle of that party? And I was just thinking, if that's me, I'm definitely a wallflower with the two people I'm actually friends with.
Yeah.
While someone like Turtle is out there. Like, the parties always feel more like for Drama and Turtle than they ever actually do for Vince, you know?
It's a fair point. It's always like, maybe it's just like the blocking and the framing of the thing. Like they could just be having this conversation out at a bar right now instead of like in the middle of this party that's supposed to, like, he's had a birthday party where he's walked in and then he's just standing there talking with Ari the whole time. And it just, I don't know. It always just strikes me as being funny. Also, I got to keep this fresh every week, Wenzler. Like,
oh, for sure. But in real life, he would not be able to get out of there without people handing him scripts, without people just like trying to get a good word in. But
selfies, all that.
Oh, for sure. But like as a character, I appreciate that he's like in the corner with the people he's actually friends with.
Yeah,
because I'm sure if you're a certain level of famous, you know, James Cameron, Aquaman starring famous, the parties are definitely more for your buddies than they are for you.
Because then all Vince has to do is like point at a girl, and she'll be back at his place like that night at like 3 a.m. without no questions asked. You know, so like he doesn't need to like work the room in any way, shape, or form.
Oh no, he's put in his time, and now he's the movie star that can just kind of call his shots. I mean, I think later on this season he actually gets out of Turtle's car and just hops in a girl's.
Yep. Driving down PCH.
Yeah, it's just.
I've only ever been in traffic on PCH. I've never been in a strange woman's car, but to each their own, Vinny.
Exactly.
Let's talk about Faces in the Crowd and then the Six Man Award. So, Faces in the Crowd, every week I try to just like, you know, call out someone in the background who maybe has like a bigger career than you might think. Do you have anyone for this, or did you want me to just go with mine?
Yeah, just go with yours because I could not. I watched this episode 3 times and I didn't spot anybody.
Okay, so Preston's executive assistant, the blonde who initially meets with Ari and Mrs. Gold.
So,
this is awkward.
what's awkward? We don't even know why we're here.
But we are concerned. We're very concerned. I mean, we know Jonah just had his evaluation, but we thought it was a formality. I mean, he's a legacy, and, well, his sister Sarah has been a model student here for almost 8 years. I mean, isn't a sibling guaranteed admission?
We can never make any guarantees.
That's not what you said when I was writing all those donation checks.
So was there a problem with Jonah's evaluation?
Well, he did hit a kid with a ruler.
Yes, he told us
He told
that.
us all. The kid was trying to steal his Power Ranger. He told us all about it. And I teach my son never to let people just take things from him. It's my Israeli blood, okay?
I mean, you can't tell us that he might not be able to go to school here because of that.
I'm not telling you that, Mrs. Gold. This is just a courtesy.
She's an actress named Stacey Travis. She has almost 100 credits to her name when she's been in some classic film and TV. She was in Earth Girls Are Easy. She was in Traffic. And her TV credits include ER, Desperate Housewives, and Seinfeld, where she played Holly, Elaine's cousin who loved eating meat. Do you remember this episode at all?
I do remember that episode, and the fact that it's the same woman is blowing my mind right now.
I know. She's like, she invites Jerry over and serves him mutton, and he's like spitting the mutton into his napkins and hiding them in his jacket, and then the dogs chase Elaine who smell the mutton. It's hilarious. It's an iconic moment, not in Seinfeld.
Yeah, I just pulled her up now, and now I'm seeing that she's in so many things that I've seen her in, and wow, bravo! I would not have known.
It's my job, man, and I mean, good for Stacey Travis, like working actress in Hollywood with a great resume.
Oh yeah, no, like the more you scroll, the more just impressed you are at just the longevity and just she's not hard up for work. She is working, and that's hell yeah, that's awesome.
Who are you giving the Six Man Award to this week?
I think I will. I know he only had like 2 lines in the whole thing, but I'm going to give it to Lloyd just for when he comes up to drama and just has the someone did something horrible in the bathroom. For some reason, that I know part of it is just like with the whole build up before with that line. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it pays off the whole like padlocking the bathroom thing in his apartment, and it's perfect. He's got the plaid sweater on. Anthony Michael Hall compliments him. He's holding the martini. It's the perfect Lloyd little bit of humor.
Johnny Drama. Someone did something really horrible in the bathroom.
Yeah, what do you want me to do about it, bro?
My sixth man is going to go to a woman, and it is Billy's girlfriend, Kat.
Ah, yes.
There's just, dude, I mean, first off, like, this is the first time we meet the character. She's only around for 2 episodes. The actress is named Michelle Lombardo. She hasn't really done much else besides little roles like this, but something about Kat.
Hello, Kat.
Hey, Vince. E.
How are you?
Oh, Billy's mossing, but it's as good as I can be.
Close the door, there's a chill coming through.
It's 80 degrees out. She's always complaining.
What did you just say about me, you little slut?
Hey, this is my house! Don't fucking talk to me that way, bitch!
Fuck you!
Fuck you! Oh my God. Man, I'm sorry. Woman is crazy, you know? So, what's going on with you guys? Everything okay?
Yeah, we're looking for Billy.
Wasn't he gonna meet you guys for the screening?
Well, yeah, he was, but he left and he took the movie with him.
Oh. Well, I don't know where he is. Well, he was a little down when he left here this morning.
He was? We spoke to him last night. He sounded great.
Yeah. He screened the movie last night for me and his mother, and I think it soured him.
You saw the movie?
Oh, yeah, a bunch of times.
Was it good?
Oh, I can't say.
You can't say if it was good?
I can't say anything. Billy would kill me if I said anything, and, you know, I'd never betray Billy that way.
I don't know how else to say this, but Kat's the kind of girl that you get mixed up with for a year of your young life.
That is a definitely a good way to put that. My shock was I went back and actually tried to figure out if she was in earlier episodes, because when she popped up, she just felt like she was part of the world, just like that. I was just trying to figure out if, you know, Billy's girlfriend was in other episodes, and no, she makes an impression. You're right. She definitely leaves an impression.
Her voice is like a saxophone operator's voice, and she's just like, well, I mean, she's very clearly like a male written character, but
very much. She just sounds very strung out and just like very, but like she, like I said, you see her and like you think she's been in the show before just because she just comes in just boom.
So she's been referenced before a lot by Billy. He said this is my girl's folks' house. They made a killing off of kombucha. I think he said that in season 2 or 3. I'm not sure. So like he references her a lot. Like, I gotta tell my girl I lost the rent money. Like, but when you meet her, you're just like, yep, that's Billy's girl, and she's like motherfucking his mom, and I love it, dude. She's great, and she really she lights up the screen without lighting up. She'd Oh
yeah, she's very on a dull, simmer.
Yep. What was your moving on from this sexy actress? Let's move on to a sexy actor, Johnny Drama. What was your favorite drama moment from this episode? There were so many, dude.
God, this was such a great drama episode.
Yep.
It's got to be right when Vince and E say that they're going to go watch the cut of the movie, and he's just like, "Oh, are you sure you want to? Are you sure you want to do that? You could stay." And then the second they walk out, he's just like, "Hey, everybody, I got an announcement. Get the fuck out!"
What's the problem, Johnny?
Oh, no problem, bro. Having the time of my life. You having a good time?
Great time. Great time. Listen, we're gonna take off, right?
You leaving?
Yeah, Walsh promised to show us the movie right now. I don't want him to change his mind. You understand, right?
Yeah, I understand, bro. Have a good time. Good luck. Good luck.
See you guys later.
All right, E. I'll see you later, buddy. Bye-bye now. I'll see you guys. Bye, you guys. Bye. Bye. Everyone, I have an announcement to make. Get the fuck out. No, I'm serious. The party's over. Get the fuck out.
And head over to the Ryan house. After party, Vinny Chase's hotel room.
What a just awesome payoff. And then him later when he's on the balcony and just laughing his ass off at everything else going around him because he has man, how good was he in this episode?
Yeah, we talked about him all the time on the show, but Kevin Dillon is an incredible actor. Comedic, dramatic, he can do the whole range. He's like so fake sincere when Vince and E are leaving. He's like, oh yeah, no, I understand. Good luck, guys. See you later, E. See you later, guys. He's literally waving, and he's going, bye, bye, as soon as they shut the door.
Oh man, and how great is it earlier when they invite R, and he's like, oh, I completely understand if you can't make it. Just trying to get the guest list down. This whole episode was great, but I'm definitely going to go with him telling everyone to get the fuck out.
Yeah. He's like losing his mind on Turtle when he finds out there's someone in the bathroom. He's like, that is a nickel-plated master lock with hardened steel shackles. It's impossible to get into without the combo.
Calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. Someone's in my bathroom, and I want to know how they got in there.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at you. That's a nickel-plated master lock with hardened steel shackles. It's impossible to get in there without a combo.
Maybe David Copperfield's in there.
Oh, it's funny.
Just promise to show me your tits.
Fucking sellouts.
I love how he fakes knowledge about everything. He clearly asked the hardware store guy about that lock. He did not have lock knowledge before he bought that.
We say it a couple times, but like Johnny Drama is the master of none. He like knows everything about nothing. It's insanely funny. It's a great character trait that isn't talked about enough. How he always has an answer, even if it's complete bullshit.
It's a great character trait, and I know those people in real life, which is what makes it so funny when you see it on screen and someone plays it as well as Kevin Dillon does.
Definitely. Man, we kind of plowed through all these categories, just a few left.
I we really we're killing it.
That's fun though. This is the best part, man. Is just chopping it up with funny people. What Entourage is the whole reason this thing exists. So who would you say won this week's episode? If Vince can't win, because obviously he's the A-list movie star, who besides Vince won this week?
Okay, so Vince can't win just because it's the category.
Yep. Just because it's the category that I made up, yes.
Yeah, because it's the category. E can't win because he hates the movie. We've talked about drama enough, so I'm gonna go with Turtle.
Okay.
Because there is nothing more relatable / pathetic than that trying to talk a girl into, like when he tried to talk that girl into flashing him.
Yep.
After he let her into the bathroom.
I mean, the person's only as good as their word. I mean, without that, we'd just be animals.
Fine. You happy?
Sadly, I'm very happy.
Everybody's seen drama.
He comes off so pathetic, and the girl plays it as in, you are very pathetic to me. And he's fine with it. Like, he is completely okay with how he's coming across because he gets to see her boobs.
He owns it so hard. She's like happy. He's like, sadly, I'm very happy.
He is completely aware of who he is in that moment.
Yeah.
And it could come off as a really like gross, sleazy bro kind of moment. But just because both characters play it off, like he's playing it off just like kind of like begging it on, oh, we're only as good as our word. In this, what separates us from the animals is that we keep promises. and she's just like, if I do this, will you shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
Like she doesn't play it like she's uncomfortable, just purely like, you're coming off very pathetic right now, and he's fine with it. I think I gotta give it to Turtle. That it's a win for him, and it's such a small win, but he's on cloud 9 with it. So I gotta go with that.
Plus, he throws a great party. He gets some good-looking people there. Like, I think we got to give him a little bit more credit. He rarely wins episodes early on in this the show's run. But yeah, let's give it to Turtle. I was gonna make an argument for E, only because he does like finally lock Billy down. He leaves that voicemail, kind of that heartfelt plea to Billy to like do this for Vince. He's kind of put his whole career on the line for you, and so they accomplish what they're trying to accomplish in this episode, which is to see that first cut. But you're right, he doesn't like the cut. There's some disagreement there, and really, let's give it to Turtle. He hasn't won one in a while.
I mean, that's his character. He's not supposed to win one, and like even though it is a victory where we're just like, it's kind of pathetic, but that's all he wanted it to be.
Yep, exactly. I'm glad you called that out. I forgot about that moment. It's such a little moment, but it speaks volumes about the character.
Yeah, exactly. It says a lot about Turtle, and it also does that rare threading the needle where like you don't feel gross about it, and you don't feel it plays it perfectly, which I really appreciated.
100%. Was this an A-list episode, a B-list episode, or a D-list episode? When? I'm
gonna go with B-list. I didn't love the Ari subplot, but everything else around it, I definitely loved.
I'm gonna go B-. I think I agree with you. You know, Ari subplot a little weak, but a lot happened. A lot of good faces in this. You got Marvin, you got Kat. A lot of action in this episode, which you appreciate these episodes, especially when you watch those episodes where the boys don't really do anything. They're just like bopping around LA and like hopping into cars and moving from meeting to meeting. And so I liked how plot heavy this was. And you start to see the cracks. You're like, oh shit, Medellin isn't very good. Like, what are they going to do?
I gotta say, I know this was last episode, but I knew that movie wasn't going to be good when I saw the clip of it. The movie is only shot in sweeping pan shots. Like that clip of Medellin when it's just like the camera never stands still. It's constantly just like swooping back and forth and doesn't stay in one spot like it's supposed to be dramatic. Sure. I was just like that was when I was just like, man, this is going to be a mess. I really hope that I remember when I first watched it, I was like, I really hope they're not going to tell me that this is a good movie because Vince looks terrible in that makeup. Like the accent is bad that he's doing. Like Billy Walsh and like none of the like him and Vince don't really seem like they speak Spanish, and yet he thinks that it's authentic because he has people who speak Spanish editing the film.
Yep. They're both totally legal. We're good.
Yeah. If you're eating empanadas and sleeping with a Colombian prostitute, then somehow that's going to get you really seeped in the culture. I thought that was a great like white guy pretentious kind of thing to add to Billy.
That was a very like hipster version of like, oh, I'm going to ingratiate myself in the culture. Thus, I will create a more authentic South American film.
While still being Billy Walsh and living with all the luxuries of being Billy Walsh.
And your Harley. Wenzler, last question. I asked this of all my first-time guests. So who are you in your own real-life entourage? What character from the show?
I got to go with E because, for one, I'm not like the I don't try to be the biggest personality. I'm a writer. I do stand up and everything, but I'm not constantly just the out in front one. Mm-hmm. Also, I married my high school sweetheart. I feel like that's a very E thing to do.
100% it is. I agree with you.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with E on that with a little bit of the Vince just because it is, I am pursuing a career in comedy and, you got to kind of have to.
The E-Vince combo, it's a very popular one, but it makes a lot of sense for a man in your position and pursuing what you're pursuing.
Yeah, for sure.
Wen, this has been a lot of fun, man.
Oh man, I really appreciate you having me. I'm glad that I've started my rewatch now.
Yeah, let's definitely plan the next time I'm in Chicago to maybe sit down and do another one in person. It'd be a lot more fun. And
oh yeah, definitely. Have a few beers, have some entourage bro moments, and record a podcast.
That's what it's all about, man. Where can the listeners follow you, find you, or come see your comedy?
Yeah, so you can follow me at Wenzler Powers. That's Wenzler. Weird name, I know. And I'm the host of a show called Spitfire Comedy at the IO Theater in Chicago. We have comics go up there, do 6 minutes, and then to buy themselves more time, they could do increasingly hotter shots of hot sauce.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Oh, it's great. We have 1 minute sauce up to a 4 minute sauce. The 1 minute sauce is basically salsa. The 4 minute sauce will ruin your night.
I gotta get Fuego Bots to sponsor this episode in some way.
We have a few sponsors. Big Fats Hot Sauce and Lucky Dog Hot Sauce, and cool. They've been fantastic, sending us increasing. One time they sent us a hot sauce that just said, "This is just irresponsibly hot."
I love that. Have you heard of the Dateway Show out here on the West Coast?
No, I haven't.
The Dateway Show is a similar format where you go up, you do a set, you did off stage, and then you do any drug that you want.
Oh, jeez.
And then you go back on stage and have to do the same set.
Yeah, no, that's an intent, and I like how it's just for you afterwards and not for the audience to enjoy.
Really, really a challenge for the people up there on mushrooms. Well, sorry about all the audio issues, Wenzler, but
hey, no worries,
this has
man.
been a lot of fun, and let's definitely do this again sometime.
Ah, man, thanks for having me, and yeah, let's do it again. When you're in Chicago, let's sit down.
100%. Thanks, man.
All right, you have a good night.